Depending on when the door was installed and the instructions used, there may be sealant all around the fixed panel, or only at the sill and 2 inches up the fixed jamb. Use a utility knife to cut any sealant around the perimeter of the fixed panel. Be careful not to cut the vinyl. Remove the head cover next to the fixed panel. Place a flat blade screwdriver or pick tool between the cover leg and the head track, and lift the barbed leg of the cover over where it catches to help remove it from the head track. Also, there may have been dabs of sealant applied to the head track before the cover was installed. If so, cut the sealant using a putty or utility knife. Depending on the door installation, the sill threshold may or may not need to be removed from the sill to have room for the fixed panel to be removed from the frame. In this video, the threshold cover did not need to be removed. However, removal steps are shown for cases where threshold removal may be needed. If the threshold cover needs to be removed, first remove the jamb cover. Use a flat blade screwdriver to pry the cover loose. Again, if the jamb cover has sealant, it may be necessary to cut the sealant using a putty or utility knife. Please note, the threshold cover may be difficult to remove. Use a hammer or pry bar to lift the barbed leg of the cover over where it catches to help remove it from the sill. If present, remove the panel bumpers next to the interior jamb cover. Remove the interior jamb cover. Grasp one end and pull it away from the frame. If needed, use a flat blade screwdriver or putty knife to work one leg out to avoid putting stress on the weather strip. Remove the 3 fixed panel attachment screws located in the mohair weather strip. Save the screws for fixed panel installation. Suction cup use is recommended for fixed panel removal. Slide and lift the panel out of the jamb pocket. Lift the panel up and tilt the bottom out toward the exterior. Remove the panel from the frame. Dispose of the panel properly. Here is a view of the bottom of the fixed panel during the removal process with the threshold removed. Clean the sealant from the frame which was cut earlier. Clean all dried sealant residue from the frame. Clean off the larger pieces of sealant first, either by hand or with using a putty knife. Sealant residue must be completely cleaned from the frame. Take enough time to thoroughly clean the sealant from the frame. In this video, the frame cleaning process took approximately 25 minutes. Follow up with a rag using isopropyl alcohol. Unpack the new panel. Confirm the setting blocks are positioned correctly. One block should sit towards the end of each end of the fixed panel, but not so far that they will stick out past the edge of the fixed panel. Suction cup usage is recommended. Install the fixed panel into the frame. Tilt the top of the panel into the frame, then lift the bottom of the panel over the bottom of the frame. Be sure the panel is on the appropriate side of the vent panel interlock. Position the panel onto the setting blocks. Push the panel completely into the jam pocket. Remove the suction cup. Here is a view of the bottom of the fixed panel during the installation process with the threshold removed. Using the fixed panel screws, secure the fixed panel through the mohair on the parting bead on the jamb in 3 locations, one near the top, middle, and bottom of the panel. Screws must engage into the fixed panel. Reinstall the interior jamb cover. Reinstall any removed panel bumpers. Reinstall the head cover. If the threshold was removed, first install the threshold. There should be a 1/8 inch space between the threshold cover and the fixed panel to ensure appropriate water performance. If needed, trim the threshold cover to achieve the 1/8 inch space. It is recommended to place dabs of sealant in the jam track every 16 inches and at each end, where the cover will be installed. Reinstall the jam cover. Reinstall the head cover. Place dabs of sealant in the head track every 16 inches and at the ends where the cover will be installed. On standard and premium high-performance doors, apply sealant where the fixed panel meets the frame 2 inches up the jamb and where the panel meets the sill across the entire width of the panel. Tool the sealant. Clean off any excess sealant.